Project Hail Mary is one of those books, man. I like reading, but this had me in a chokehold. I quite literally didn't put this book down for 48 hours. When I learned they were gonna make it a movie, I got a little worried. We've seen movie disasters before. I'm thinking Divergent, I'm thinking Percy Jackson. We've had 3 trailers come out for this movie so far, and I think they're gonna do a really good job. Rocky in the trailers looks exactly what I thought he would look like. That's exactly what was in my brain. I think also Ryan Gosling is a great actor for this. He's got the comedy chops to like flesh out his and Rocky's relationship because it is very funny. They are 2 alien beings to each other that end up having like this beautiful friendship. This movie has a 2-hour and 36-minute reported runtime, which will hopefully remain true to the story as much as possible.
Fist my bum. No, it's fist bump. It's not the same.
Hi, I'm Zach, and welcome to Cinema This Week, the show where I bring you the movie, TV, and all things entertainment industry from the last 7 days. If you're new around here, make sure you like and subscribe, because I'm here for you every week. King Charles must have seen how Melania released a documentary and been like, I should do that too, because I also have one of those. So when I was prepping this script, I hadn't actually watched the King's documentary at the time, and I was totally gonna compare these to a documentary. They are very similar. Melania is like this out-of-touch woman saying, here, this is this, and I did this, and oh, did I remind you that I'm rich and I hate you? Because I am, and I do. Like, say what you will about the monarchy and the king, but this documentary had substance. The director has directed other documentaries before. Novel concept, I know. Harmony is what the king is calling the relationship between nature and man. The documentary is called Finding Harmony. And when harmony is found, meaning nature and the humans balance each other out, that is what the documentary is about. The king started his journey with finding harmony with his house called Highgrove. He took it from like this big mansion splotted in the middle of a park into like this sustainable farm that has a bunch of varieties of different vegetables and plants and whatever, and it's very diverse. He went on to replicate this a few times, turning Dumfries House in Scotland. It's kind of like a community center now. He invested in this town called Poundbury, which has farms, like neighborhood farms, and everyone has access to green space, which is a big thing. He's big on the green space. And again, he did it in Kabul, Afghanistan. They just communized this block of buildings, right? And now they teach classes, they pass down their culture, they sustainably farm. They can receive medical care right in their little community. His Majesty isn't just wanting to inform on topics such as climate change or sustainability and community. He's actively putting into work with like the amount of the crazy amount of privilege he was granted just because his name is Windsor. So he's doing some good things. I'm not like glazing the king or anything, but I think it's cool what he's doing because it's really the opposite of whatever Melania was up to with that whole thing. So I don't know about you, but Variety's Actors on Actors is one of my favorite internet shows. As a person who loves everything to do with the entertainment industry, seeing these actors like see face to face, I feel like they open up more than they would with like another interview. Here are the few that I keep going back to. Number 1 is Chloe Fineman and Hannah Einbinder. They did one a few years back, and they're just so good at articulating that comedy is for laughs, but it's also like a serious art that you learn and you get better and more proficient at. Another one is a recent one actually from this season. It was Gwyneth Paltrow and Jacob Elordi, because they kind of talked about Gwyneth just rose to fame in the 90s and like did 800 movies and then got burnt out, whereas Jacob Elordi kind of took his time with what projects he was doing and slowly rose to fame. And finally, my favorite one probably is Zendaya and Nicole Kidman. Not only are these 2 my favorite actors, but they both experienced fame at a very young age. So they talked about what it was like for Nicole growing up in the 80s being famous versus Zendaya in the 2010s and how that like figured itself out. And I think it was very interesting because you could see how Nicole Kidman could be like this woman who's like dominates a conversation, but she actually just sits back and really listens to what Zendaya has to say. And I feel like we can all learn a little bit from that. All right, end of tangent, I'm sorry. Because of the success of the internet show, Variety is branching off a bit, and Timothée Chalamet and Matthew McConaughey will be hosting a town hall at UT Austin. If you're watching this video on the day I put it out, first of all, thank you. Second of all, the event will be live on TV on CNN tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, for this next one, I want you guys to put your favorite MCU movies in the comments because I don't think mine are that crazy, but we'll find out. Alright, these are my favorite for me, meaning the ones I go back to and watch the most. They're not necessarily like the most cinematic or like the blockbusters, but the ones I enjoy going back to. Number 1, Captain America: The First Avenger. This is the movie I think I watch when I just want to watch a Marvel movie, because it's just like, this is how we meet Steve, this is how we get Cap. Watching Steve get turned away from the military service so many times, but he keeps going back, and once he gets his chance, he shows like his heart and all that stuff. We watch him go through several arcs where he has to learn how to deal with being the skinny guy on the field, how he has to deal with being the responsibility that comes with being Captain America. He has to learn that he's been frozen for 70 years and he woke up and you can have a computer in your pocket. Like, everything changed except like his willingness to be good. And I feel like we should all be good. Number 2 is going to be Captain Marvel. I love this one because it's literally the beginning of all the Avengers. Nick Fury discovers Carol, learns about her powers, they go on this goose chase together, and it inspires Nick Fury to start the Avengers Initiative. She comes to Earth not knowing anything, so we get to go on this like journey of discovery, and it's hilarious because she doesn't know anything. And also the cat, Goose. I love Goose. He's not I forget what he's actually called. He's not a cat. But I also just love Brie Larson, and so the fact that she can fly in this is just like stacking wins. Number 3, funnily enough, Iron Man 2. Specifically, Iron Man 2. I don't know, there's something about the grandeur of this film. Like, Tony is going cuckoo bonks. There's a whole thing happening, Expo, where like all the tech visionaries like tell everybody. It's like an Apple keynote, but for everything. This evil guy partners up with this evil guy to destroy Tony at his own Expo. This is also the movie where Piper and Tony go to Monaco and meet Elon Musk. Ew. And it's very much giving that scene from Home Alone 2, where it's like, wow, yikes.
It tastes like coconut. Metal.
My number 4 is Black Widow. The fact that it took her so long to get her own movie, despite Iron Man, Cap, and Thor, they all had trilogies by now. And we're just getting a Black Widow movie? Don't piss me off. It gives us her backstory, which is this general guy made the Red Room, which is an elite legion of female assassins, the Black Widows, to do his dirty work, to kill governments or whatever, to kill people in general. But arguably the best part about this movie is the introduction of Natasha's sister and dad, which are Yelena and Alexei, I think his name is, who is like the communist version of Captain America. Those two are hilarious. Also, this is basically a spy flick, because they do a whole lot of this and James Bond type stuff, and they do the pose. That's another where she's like, and you flick your hair back. Why do you poser? Like, just a great movie all around. And finally, I had to get a Spider-Man movie on this list because who doesn't love Spider-Man? I hear you. Why Spider-Man Homecoming? Unfortunately, I am Gen Z, so Tom Holland is my Spider-Man. I don't know. I don't feel like I watch his Spider-Man movies just like one-offs. I always watch the trilogy. So I just went with the first one because this is where we see him, we meet him. He learns from Tony. He goes on this quest to like the Falcon, and we get Zendaya. Like they're getting married because this movie exists. You know, like that's crazy. It can be a drag. It didn't need to be 2 hours long. I feel like they could have done a good 1:30 and it could have like been a lot better, but it's still good and I like it. So Next! Everyone's favorite Best Picture nominee is officially getting a sequel. This doesn't surprise me, personally. I bet it surprises a lot of people, but this movie did $630 million at the box office. They're not just gonna be like, well, on to the next. They're gonna be like, how do we get more money out of this? And with 4 Academy Awards also, or they're up for 4 nominations, the industry loved it as well. It was at the Academy Awards luncheon that producer Jerry Bruckheimer confirmed the sequel, quote, "We're working on a sequel," and that's it. No casting, no story details, no nothing. It was a nothing burger. I don't know. When I read a book, I see the movie in my head, like, and I don't mean like I see what's happening on the page. I mean like I imagine the shots I would use if I was directing this movie. Do you know what I mean? I've been reading this series called American Royals recently, and I can't do anything but imagine these characters as a TV show or something. So the books tell the story of after the American Revolution, instead of becoming the first president, George Washington becomes the first king of America, and 250 years later, his descendants are still ruling America. We join Princess Beatrice and her sister, Princess Samantha, Samantha's best friend Nina, and Princess Beatrice and Princess Sam have a brother called Jefferson, and his girlfriend Daphne explore through these 4 women what this high-ranking American life looks like. I don't know, I really enjoy learning about the royals in real life, so reading about if my country had a monarchy is kind of fun. And I don't know if they're looking for a director, but call a guy. Speaking of things getting made, you may have heard about the live-action Tangled remake. You guys know how much I hate remakes, so I don't really actually care about this, but they do seem to be getting the casting right, unlike some other remakes. Rapunzel will be played by Tegan Croft, who has like the big eyes, like not in a bad way. And Flynn Rider will be played by Milo Manheim, which is also pretty accurate. I feel like if they just like gave him a spray tan and lightened his hair a little bit, right on the money. But it's the unconfirmed that excites me about this. That being Catherine Hahn as Mother Gothel. If you guys haven't seen Agatha All Along, first of all, what does it feel like to live under a rock? And second of all, get on Disney Plus right now. Agatha in that show is basically gay Mother Gothel. Like, she cons a bunch of people, and she just has like that, I don't want to say aura, but I'm gonna say aura anyway. She has that aura of like swagger and like je ne sais quoi to be able to pull off, like, Mother Gothel is an icon, whether you like it or not. So like, so yeah, like I said, it's not confirmed whether she'll play Mother Gothel, but she is in talks with Disney about the role, so fingers crossed. The Norwegian drama film up for 9 Oscars this year, Sentimental Value, was apparently over 3.5 hours long after the first cut. Olivier Boujcoute, the film's editor, says that he only reads the scripts like a few days before they start actually filming the movie, and he said, quote, "I should have read it sooner. I could have saved production a lot of money." And I personally have a hard time with foreign films. I love foreign films. They tell a lot of the stories that Hollywood won't. But like, I like reading, but I don't like reading movies. So I did enjoy this movie. Like, I understand. I did not enjoy having to read the movie. That being said, I understand why it's popular. It tells a great story. I just feel like they could have cut it like another 30 minutes and made it an hour and a half. Let's close out this week's CTW and talk about Wuthering Heights. Spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen Wuthering Heights, or you don't care, either click away or stay. I saw Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights adaptation last Thursday, and I do just want to say I have not read the book, but I've gotten the gist. So it's a story of Kathy and Heathcliff from when they are like, I'd guess 12, about 12, and then it transitions to when they're like 20, or 30, ? They play fast and loose with ages in this movie. But yeah, so it's Kathy and Heathcliff, and they live at this place called Wuthering Heights. And Heathcliff gets brought to Kathy as a pet. So it's like, this is your human boy. Here you go. Who knows, man? And they grow up together, and I don't know. This movie was very confusing. Supposed to be a love story between Kathy and Heathcliff, but one day Kathy decides to marry this other guy who is her neighbor, and it like sets off this snowball effect of bad. Everything could have been prevented if you just said no. Because the minute she says yes to the guy, she's like, I made a mistake. It's like, you could have just stopped there and been like, Heathcliff, I love you. And we could have had a great movie. But yeah, I think the costumes in this are especially confusing because it's based on an Emily Bronte novel, right? So it's supposed to be like
19th century.
I don't know exactly when Emily Bronte was alive, but I'm sure she wasn't wearing shit like this, bro. Is it a period piece or no? Why is she wearing a plastic dress? Did they even know about plastic in the 1800s? Also, this movie is so goddamn wet. Like, it is raining all of the time. But it's like specific, right? So I get it. It's supposed to be placed on the Yorkshire moors. I understand. That's a rainy place. But it's only ever conveniently raining when the protagonists are going through like mental anguish. So it's only raining when they need to escape and have like I love you but I can't be with you, Heathcliff moment. And it's never raining when they're just sitting outside like normal. It's like, I get it, but also don't piss me off. The Charlie XCX soundtrack. What? I genuinely think Emerald Fennell is just a D1 rage baiter. Because how are you gonna have, like, this was programmed as like a spicy Wuthering Heights, so I understand why Charlie XCX is here. But at the same time, you can tell they're trying to make it a period piece also. So it's like, also, what is she doing here? And just like Emerald Fennell's filmmaking as a whole, she does love shock factor filmmaking. It's like, what if the walls were her skin? What if the walls were her skin? What if at one point she leaks blood everywhere? But then suddenly it's fine. What if we gave her sepsis? Like, none of this made sense. The ending. It could have ended 14 times. There was like a part where like, she's dead, right? Or she's dying. And Heathcliff is getting on a horse and he's trying to get his ass over to her. And I was like, oh, it's gonna end with him on the horse. Like, we'll never know if she got to her in time. And then it was like, oh no, he got to the house, but he's gonna have a confrontation with her husband. I was like, oh, they're gonna fight and it's gonna end. And then he gets in the house and he slowly walks down the hallway and it's like, oh, so it's gonna end here. And then there's like another 10 minutes after that where he just cries because she's dead. Bro. Finally, I just want to talk about Owen Cooper because this his drama chops are insane. The only heartbeat of this movie is the scene with Owen Cooper. Because at the end, after Kath dies, and Jacob Elordi gets there, and he's like, oh, I've loved you every day. And then it cuts back to when they were kids, right? And Jacob Elordi's like, Kath, are you, young Heathcliff is like, Kath, are you awake? Are you awake? And she has a response. He's like, Catherine Earnshaw, I will love you till the day I die, and every day after. And it's like, and it's said by a literal 16-year-old. Like, he's so good at acting. I don't know, man. But that's like the only heartbeat. Other than that, you want to shoot them. You want to shoot them. I don't know. There's no other way to explain it. If you saw Wuthering Heights, what did you think? Did you read the book first? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. But that's going to do it for cinema this week, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next week. Bye.